All right, Catch Aid's the heavy metal picker here. We're here with Brad Arnold. He's in church. He used to be in Doom Formation, and in addition to that, Rotting Souls like a million years ago. You know what, while we're at it, we got Mitch Carpenter, who according to Encyclopedia Metalum was in Doom Formation from 93 to 94. So he'll chip in whenever needed. All right, over to Brad Arnold here. Let's start with you. All right, tell us about church, and try not to do it in a clichéic manner.
Well, how I joined church? Is that what you want to know?
All right, okay, hold on. Let me start with a thing that really pisses me off about church. You've got an ungoogleable name. When I'm like Googling church death metal or church Ohio, you know, or church band, right, I'm not going to get straight to you. I got to be a little bit creative, so I have to Google Church Brock Stevens, Church Brad Arnold.
Or Church 66.
Church 66. I had to do that too. Yeah. Tell us the reasoning behind this.
Well, the name of the band, from my understanding, I joined the band, it was already named that. And
who was responsible for this?
They named, Brock and them named the band Church because they only played on Sundays.
All right. So we're going to blame that one on guitarist Brock Stevens then.
There you go.
All right, go ahead and hit whatever it is you're hitting. What do you guys smoke? I'm fucking boring now. I've been sober, except for the one time I unintentionally ate a fucking marijuana. No, it was a piece of chocolate. Don't eat candy that isn't yours. If a man in his 40s can do that, shit. Anyhow, let's move on. Oh my God, I should have brought my damn glasses too. All right, so check it out. All right, so you've opened for a shitload of big bands.
Right.
Tell us about your favorite show with a big band. I've only seen you with Limb Splitter, and I think Necrotic Disgorgement, and again here with Malevolent Creation and Narcotic Wasteland. Narcotic Wasteland stole the show. Yep. Tell us about your favorite moments with all these big rock stars.
I mean, to be able to play with them, I think is pretty cool. You know, people that you know, kind of check out also. And
you got any highlights? Come on, give us something interesting. Tell us about some backstage stories about like big orgies and drugs and stuff.
Nothing like that went on, that's for sure.
Oh, that's too bad. All right, so in February, I had to miss the show in which you played with Acheron and Mordant Red. Probably got to meet Justin Horville and do all kinds of insane shit. I was busy in Wisconsin, you know, making money.
Right.
So anyhow, tell me what I missed.
Oh, it was an excellent show, man. Everybody had a great sound. There was a good turnout. I mean, everybody was into it. It was a small setting, but it was excellent. Good for metal, you know.
Awesome.
Played a different place that we never played before, so that was kind of cool. The Witch Lab.
What about the Witch Lab? I've walked in there just to scope the venue out, but as you know, went to Wisconsin, had to do that instead. So I scoped it out. Tell me about what stands out about the Witch Lab.
It's cool because they have a shop beside there that's got a lot of interesting things in there, like witchcraft kind of stuff and a lot of neat stuff that, you know, you wouldn't find anywhere else, man. It's pretty unique.
It's located in Columbus's west side. You don't think it was haunted by crackheads?
It could be.
Oh, all right. All right.
These
so,
days.
I'm quite familiar with the band Doom Formation from a million years ago. Mitch spent some time in Doom Formation. I understood, Mitch, that you actually wrote a lot of the songs that ended up in Doom Formation.
Yeah.
Tell us your role and speak up.
It's a collaboration between me, Mike, and Brad. Mike Gill, Brad Arnold, drummer for Church. I would go out and watch their band practices when they were in Rotting Souls, and when they shut down, I would make Brad play with me, and Mike liked what I was doing because we were tuned to A and doing stuff like Grave and Dismember and
I thought if I was to make a comparison, you'd remind me of very early Cataclysm. Is that a fairly accurate description?
Yeah, the vocals were really guttural back then, and we had a singer named Eric Gravely.
He had great mugshots. Yeah. Amazing mugshots.
Yeah, he made it.
I'm going to add those into this video afterward.
It was really evil at the beginning, man. We were just a bunch of farm boys that went to high school together, and I'm a little bit older than them, so I was kind of like the little ringleader and trying to push them to helped me out when they had their other Rotting Souls was going good at the time.
Rotting Souls meaning the first band in the Brad Arnold timeline.
Yeah. And Tommy from Church sang for them.
And that'd be Tommy Justice, bass player, vocals of Church.
Yeah.
All right.
So we started writing material after their band practices, and I think Rotting Souls kind of started on a downslide for whatever reason. Great band anyway, but
I like the cool mushroom logo in Rotting Souls.
Yeah, that was cool.
that kind of migrated
Mike.
to our logo a little bit too. But
Mike had a lot of influence on that.
Mike Gill, guitar player. He had a really killer BC Rich Warlock, small, skinny guy. I would, anyhow, back to Mike Gill. I got a dub cassette copy of the full length. How am I pronouncing this right? Tartarian Ensorcelment?
Yeah, Tartarian Ensorcelment.
Okay, so I'm not too bad.
Right.
Justin Horval really butchered it. Anyhow. All right, so the songs were good. However, the guitar, the production sounded like internal bleeding on a very bad day.
Yeah.
Now, given advances in technology, do you think you could possibly remix this, maybe even retract the guitar, and perhaps eventually release it? Because you eventually released the Doom Formation demo on CD, which I got. We'll get to that in a second.
Rob did that, yeah.
But back to Tartarian Ensorcelment. With advances in technology, do you think this recording can be saved?
I'm not really that into the technology part of it, but I mean, if it is, I mean, I'm sure it could.
Who owns the materials, the master tapes?
Mike has them, I believe.
Okay, so if we harass him enough,
Yeah.
maybe he could retract the guitar.
Maybe.
And like I was listening to some of this stuff on the way over here, not that, you know, my original dub cassette has not survived.
Right.
But I can remember some of the titles on that. We'll get to that in a second. I remember Stabbed, Human Filth,
Right.
2 songs that were re-recorded from the demo.
Correct.
Before the story begins, what am I missing? The title track,
There was you had
Ways of the
Morbid
Dead was not Morbid Catastrophic Fear.
Yeah, that one. Ways of the Dead.
Was not re-recorded.
Right. I don't think.
No, it was not.
No.
I'm in the know. I've got a killer memory. See, I don't smoke weed anymore. There you go.
That stuff's a little foggy for me because it's years ago.
That was 30 years ago for me too. Right. How come oh, and here's another thing. I noticed some inconsistencies in the timeline. You got the years wrong in the live videos you had. You had the Rebo show was 1994. That was actually July 1995. Tell me about that show with Dying Fetus, Internal Bleeding, The Reefer Hut, Decay.
I'll tell you more about that show. I got that booked for us, and I ended up going fishing instead of practicing a few weeks before that, and I got shit canned for going fishing from my buddies, which fishing's my first love, so fuck, I don't give a shit.
Oh,
and then
man.
so they ended up playing, and I did acid with my wife, and we yelled at Doom Formation from the crowd. But what I remember from that day is seeing Internal Bleeding, Dying Fetus, Reefer Hut, Decay.
My own victim.
Him Dale, or my own victim?
No.
Yeah,
Not
my
him,
own
Dale.
victim.
My
I
own
mean,
victim,
just
yeah.
back-to-back killer bands and a really small, unique
Rebos.
setting. Rebos.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was kick-ass. I moshed the whole time.
I make a brief cameo in your Ways of the Dead video as well. My hair looked beautiful. I'm 18 years old. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. And in addition to that, there's a video for what's titled as Human Filth. Now, there's a video called, Human Filth, but one of the songs is mistitled because they're 2 different songs. Now, Human Filth, I believe, was recorded when you opened up for Cannibal Corpse. I was at that show as well, which would have been August 1996. At that show, Regurgitation played the bottom of the bill. They were relatively unknown at the time.
Right.
Then there was Doom Formation. Then there was Golgotha from Marion, a couple bands that sucked, and then Cannibal Corpse during the Vile tour cycle. Right. Tell us about that.
That was an excellent show, man. I was so stoked to play that, man. And we hit the stage. That place was packed, and it was great. I mean, it was one of the best shows I remember playing at.
Was that at the Villa?
At the Villa, yes.
The Villa, dude.
And you drove a Toyota pickup at the time?
Correct.
See, I got a killer memory.
Yeah.
See,
Got
I'm
In defense of some of the other guys that aren't here to be interviewed, Mike Gill, the guitar player and founding member, came up with the idea for the name and the logo. Me and him did the logo, but Mike's guitar sound was like a steamroller. He couldn't be mixed right. It couldn't be recorded right with the tools that we had at the time. So, I mean, it'd be cool to put him back in the studio with whatever he wanted to do and hear his guitar sound.
If I might interject, you should have done what you did on Definition of Evil, because obviously that worked even though you recorded it pretty damn cheap.
Yeah, that's when Rob Gaines come into the picture and I phased out, and they did a lot after I left and moved on pretty tight for a couple of years after that.
We went through a bunch of guitar. We went through 2 or 3 different guitar players after that, though.
Yeah, I'm Frank Elias, Blair, a few other people, homegrown. Yeah, like I said, I've got a good memory.
Homegrown's gonna be here in a little
Didn't you
bit.
guys do the Milwaukee Metal Fest, or
It's supposed to be.
no, or Doom Formation?
Yeah,
Would that have been 95 or 96?
Played Michigan Death Fest.
Oh, Michigan.
Okay.
Tennessee, we played down Tennessee.
Okay.
All right. Now, you would also allegedly had a recording session at Cro-Mag Studios with John Shaw, but you did not take your tapes. What the hell happened? Did you bust your snare drum head or something?
I don't know. I don't remember that, man.
Okay.
Which recording was that?
Cro-Mag, Dayton, Ohio?
Dayton, Ohio, we did that? Yeah, I don't remember that. I remember going to Michigan to record. That's when we did the Tartarian.
Okay, so you recorded with,
was
what was that, Duke's studio? Duke of Malicious Hate, who ran Grinding Peace Records.
Correct.
All right, cool.
So we went up there. That's when we started that, but we just didn't end up finishing because what happened then was we ended up firing the vocalist we had because we got some differences and some band problems. When we did that, Pete, the bass player, was supposed to take over vocal duties, and he froze up during show and didn't do vocals.
Okay, that was my next question. Am I pronouncing his last name right? Barub?
Barubi.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right.
So that kind of ended the thing for us, man. It kind of things just
That
went downhill.
was unfortunate.
Yeah, we didn't have a vocalist. We only had one guitar player, and it was just kind of, we were like a broken band at the time.
All right, now tell us about Rotting Souls. Let's go way back in time. Let's hope you remember something about Rotting
I do
Souls.
remember Rotting Soul stuff.
Well, tell us about it.
Well, Rotting Soul started in high school band. We played in bars by the time we
Hold
were
on.
16 years old.
How old are you? Are you like 48?
I'm 52 years old.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
All right.
This is 35 years ago. 30
So,
years
yeah,
ago.
Rotting Souls is like 90, 91, am I right?
Exactly.
All right.
89, 90, around then. I was playing them on campus when I was 16 years old.
Campus is unrecognizable.
Oh, I know.
Jesus.
Totally. But yeah, that's how that started. And then we revisited the Rotting Souls again in 2010.
I've listened to some of that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, what I heard.
Right. It's a
All
little
right.
different entity.
It
Okay.
was basically just like Celtic Frost and obituary worship. Rotting Souls had a really, they were the only people doing that in Columbus, or one of the rare bands doing it in Ohio at that time.
Yep.
All right. What else did I have to ask? Oh, do you have any recordings with Eric Gravely?
I got video on stage, 2 shows. One was a party out in Sunbury with Golgotha's drummer that got busted by the police. And then,
That did happen.
And then another one's from Park Avenue. I think maybe our first or second show.
Park Avenue, that's like 525 North Park in near the Short North.
Park.
Oakland Park.
It'd just
Drive.
be east of 71 between
East
here
of 71. So,
here and
so that's what's currly Donato's now, if I'm
Yeah,
not
it's right
mistaken.
beside it.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the 1200 East Oakland Park block.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the IGA and shit. All right. I heard some good things about that place, but that would have been a little bit before my
It
time.
was awesome. They had the best bands there.
All right.
Napalm, Godflesh,
Heard about that?
Unleashed, Bolt Thrower, Malevolent Creation, Devastation, Godflesh, Nocturnus.
So, somebody told me that when Entombed and Exhorder toured together at this venue, a member of Exhorder's crew was very pissed off at Entombed's road manager, who always carried a briefcase with him, and apparently somebody from Exhorder defecated into the Entombed manager's briefcase. But apparently you missed that.
No, I did not.
I don't. I think something about that night happened, but not that. I don't know.
Well, that would have been pretty cool. All right, so tell me what else is in your archives that you need to upload to YouTube or various other platforms right away before you lose it in a flood, a fire, a burglary.
That'd be Brad. I'm very limited in my musical endeavors.
What you mean, like stuff?
What's in your archives? What tapes do you have hanging around that you need to upload?
Oh, I got like old cassette tapes and stuff.
Yeah,
I've got
now you're talking.
I've got some hypocrisy that I'd like to be.
I'm talking about stuff around here, Ohio stuff.
Oh.
Do you have like Doomformation and Pickwood? Do you have anything like that?
No, I don't have anything like that. I think Mike only has some of that stuff, man. I don't have a lot of stuff from Doomformation.
We are going to have to harass Mike Gill relentlessly.
He has a lot of stuff, man. I know he does.
All right, good.
I might have a couple VHS tapes of the Souls back in the day, but that's all I got.
Rob Gaines, the singer that carried the band for like 3 or 4 years, he probably has the most stuff of anybody.
He probably does.
I already asked him. He said no. I'm a step ahead of you, all right?
Maybe he's just playing.
You know what? I've had that happen with multiple musicians. Oh, we don't have any,
Well,
and then like I catch you later.
Here's the thing. So, Rob, because he was a later member, he doesn't feel comfortable without consulting with me or Mike before he does anything,
Okay.
which is understandable.
All right.
Like he actually made. We have a Doom Formation T-shirt that he made.
Mm-hmm.
I have one. Mike has one. He has one. And actually, Brock got one because he
Okay.
begged for one.
See, the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
That's right.
All right.
We never had
Actually,
a
I
shirt before.
do have a concert from the 1995 free beer party at Frambar Park. It's got
Where is Frambar Park?
out in Pataskala, right
Okay.
where we went to high school. A friend of ours owns it. But anyway, it was a free beer party with like 20 to 40 kegs of beer, free beer, and then DK, Ouch Cube was on there, Cycle of Punishment, Doom Formation. I have our set recorded from that day. That was a pretty good festival for quite a few years, like 6-7 years. It got bigger and bigger as it went.
All right. Now to close this, so people don't have to fuck around on Google, belt out the links to your, social media and all that shit, or its official site, or I'll just sneak them in later.
For church, it's Instagram. We're Church66, so you can do that on Facebook as well. And we're also on Instagram. We do got some stuff on Spotify, but like I said, it's still Church66
All right.
to get hold of.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Mitch.
Man.
Sure,
Get
good
high.
talking to you.
Smoke one for me.